And in 1 second, we will be live on Facebook. Maybe 2 seconds.
Make it 3.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. And boom.
Hey, Facebook, this is Mark Ham. I'm hanging out here at the Happiness and Positivity Workshop for HNP, the Happy Neighborhood Project. We have Miss Kathy Weaver, one of our diva mentors and board members, as well as the real diva, Denise Vargas, hanging out here today. Anyway, we got some happiness and positivity talk going on today, and we've got 2 great coaches on the board today. Miss Erin Page, she's one of our great coaches, and Tracy Thompson is also one of our great coaches. Would you please introduce yourself, Erin?
Hello,
there you go.
Yes. How are you, everyone? I'm so thrilled to be here. I am a heart-centered coach. I just love life, and some of you I recognize, and I just want to say how proud I am to be here with you, and so honored. And we'll get into lots of positivity and happiness and joy here in just a little bit.
And Erin, just tell them where you're from and how long you've been a coach.
Okay, well, I am actually in the Kansas City area, and people have asked me, I've pretty much been a teacher of life for forever, like most of us, but a coach well over 10 years.
All right, thank you. And Miss Tracy Thompson, would you do the same? Let us know who you are, where you're from, how long you've been doing what you do.
I am Tracy Thompson, and my company coaching is life coaching. It's called Becoming Me with Coach T. And me stands for more empowered and also for your authentic self. I use the modalities of EFT, or tapping as they're known. And I work primarily with entrepreneurs who are working to get past money mindset blocks that they might have. That's how I use the EFT with that and work through it. And I am West Edmonton, the capital of Alberta, Canada.
All right, sounds good. Kathy, you want to take a quick second and say hello to everybody?
Absolutely. We're thrilled that you're here. Please remember, on the first Thursday of every single month, we are thrilled to host the Happiness and Positivity Workshop right here on this very channel. So if you haven't registered for the future events, remember to do it 1 month at a time. First Thursday in your co-op back office. How do I register for the co-op? Any of our superstars on this call will be happy to help you with that. Mark, back to you.
All right. So before we get started, I want to tell you why we're here.
Yes.
Have you ever done business or met someone and you like maybe their product, but they just didn't have a great demeanor about them? Maybe they were a little off. Maybe they're going through something. Maybe they're Debbie Downer. No offense if there are any Debbies on the call. I know Debbie Miller.
Negative Nelly.
Yeah. But anyway, we want to speak life into our Happy Neighborhood Project. We want all of our family here to be positive in business, happy in business, because if you're a happy person doing business, other people are affected by it and want to do business with you. And so we know one of the main things is positivity. And we've heard happiness since day one back in 2009. I won't get into that story. Y'all already know it. So anyway, we're going to get right on into it. First up is Miss Erin Page. Would you please get into it and tell us all about what we should be doing as business people to be happy and to build relationships? You got the floor, Erin.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you for letting me actually go first. Sometimes, people don't want to go first. I start everything that I do, whether it's in front of a large audience or even through this virtual platform called Zoom. I have everyone center themselves, and if we could do that through the breath, I would really appreciate it. So wherever you are, put your feet flat on the floor, your hands in your lap, uncrossed, and just close your eyes. And I want you to breathe in all of the goodness that this world and this life has to offer. And as you hold that breath as long as you can, I want you to mix that goodness that the world has to offer you with your own unique gifts and talents. And on the breath out, you are breathing out and creating a ripple of goodness, kindness, happiness, positivity. And just do that 3 more times, if you would, please. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. I always like to start with the breath because, and I know Tracy Tracy, you and I have similar backgrounds, so I can definitely see, and I'm excited to learn from you today as well. But when we use the breath, we can become present, we can become positive, and we can actually give our bodies the oxygen that it needs to make everything happen. And I'm going to talk about, since we're talking about positivity today, I'm going to bring forth 3 P's. So the first one is pause, and we just did that. And we did that through the breath. You can do this before you go into a meeting. You can do this before you go into a family gathering. You know, a lot of times, you know, we go into hostile environments and we have to participate and we have to be there. And so just taking that moment to pause and to breathe and to get more heart-centered. And you can take that breath work to a different level as well. You can imagine that you're breathing in through your heart space. I know physically you'll be breathing in through your nose or your mouth, but you can really become heart-centered is when you take that breath in and imagine that's going in through your heart center. And for you type A people out there, you know, there is actual science behind the fact that the heart communicates more with the brain than the brain communicates with the heart. So when people tell you you need to get out of your head, they're right. They are absolutely right. And the vibration of the heart has been measured. And wherever you are emotionally, if you're in a fear-based state, if you are frustrated, if you're in a happy, positive state, the heart's vibration actually shifts according to where you are emotionally. And so it's very, very important. And if you think about it, you know, I've talked a little bit about vibration, and the vibration that's being omitted from the heart is actually making a difference with the people in the room. And the scientists in this report said, well, you know, they measured it up to 9 feet. But of course, as a reporter should do, they asked the next best question, and it's, well, how do you know it's 9 feet? And the scientists said, well, we believe it's infinite. And I know many of you have probably heard about the butterfly effect. So if it's infinite, then even on this virtual platform, we are actually exchanging that vibration and that energy of every single person on this call. And I do have, you know, a diagram that I created. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yes, we can see it.
When you, and if you can really absorb that and visualize that, you'll want to be in a positive state all the time. You'll want to, not only for yourself, but also for the people around you. And you'll get so good at it that even though you are going into, I mentioned like a hostile environment or a situation that's not very comfortable, you can actually, and I honestly, I have fun with it. You can actually change the trajectory of the direction or where that room is headed just by changing your vibration. Because the law of attraction is law for a reason. People are going to start being attracted, whether they know it or not, to that shift that you've made in your own self. So that's pause. So breathe and be very heart-centered, which leads me into the next P, and that's present. Be present. The only moment that we have is right here, right now. Anything before the record button and the login information was put in does not matter and does not exist. And anything after this does not exist. Just take a minute, just take a moment and really center yourself and really feel what it feels like to be present. For me, sometimes I get tingles all over. I feel lighter. The worry goes away. Someone once told me, don't borrow trouble. I know you are all business owners or you have responsibilities and there are things that, you worry about. Well, ultimately you're borrowing trouble. Don't borrow trouble, someone once said. Be present in the moment because you're going to miss it. I had a moment where where my son was really little and he was in the back seat. And he was just giggling like crazy. And I was on the phone with someone and they were really frustrating me. And I was being absorbed into that conversation. And I got off the phone and I looked in my rearview mirror and I saw him laughing. And I thought to myself, I'm not going to think about that phone call anymore. I am going to absorb everything that this young child is offering me right now. And I'm going to be present because I would have missed it. I would have missed it. There's a level of awareness, especially when you're working with your clients, when you're present. Are you listening? We were given 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And I'm not just talking about listening. I'm talking about really listening. What is their heart vibration emitting? What are they really saying in between the words, in between the pauses? What's their energy level really telling you about how they're feeling about the project or, whatever it is in life? And when you can really listen, you can elevate the whole conversation. You can build trust with your clients and create that positive atmosphere that we all hope for with our client base. And the third is participate. We can be actively participating in this life in a positive way, a happy way, a joyful way, or we can be one that participates in all the negativity and let that seep in through our skin and into our soul and into our own vibration. We get to choose. We get to choose if we want to actively participate. And if you guys really become centered and present like we just did a little bit ago, I don't know about you, but it can be almost addictive. Like you crave it. You want it. How do we know what we want out of life? We know what we want out of life because we know what we don't want in life. And that's how we can move forward. So pause. We are inundated all the time with negative thoughts, people's perceptions and opinions about ourselves. And we can if we could just pause for a minute and breathe and then really be present. People will know the difference when you are completely present with them. They'll feel it. And then participate. How are you going to participate? Are you going to harbor anger, or maybe somebody cut you off on the way to a meeting or on the way right before you got onto the Zoom? Are you going to continue participating in that frustrated energetic? Or are you really going to be present and turn that into something positive? And I actually wore a t-shirt, I'm kind of sitting low, but one of the things that I say all the time, and it came to me, and I actually believe in it so much that I put it on a t-shirt, and it says, I've given you everything you want. Go do it. Now go do it. And for me, it's God that told me that. So whatever your belief system is, you were brought here with unique divine talents, gifts that no one on this call and no one beyond has or possesses. And if someone says, well, you know, I speak all the time and people are like, well, I can't speak about being heart-centered or being kind or those types of things because you talk about it. Yes, you can, because the way that you deliver it is going to be way different than me. And Tracy, she may talk about some of the same similar things, but she's going to say them differently than me. Absolutely. Love yourself enough to gift yourself the belief that you are worthy of everything that God, the universe, spirit has gifted you. You're divinely created. There's no one else like you. So choose how you want to participate in that. And I can certainly go into things further, but that's what I want to share at this moment in time.
Beautiful. Mark, I was just going to mention, you can certainly tell such an incredible team of true professionals. First of all, Tracy's not only camera was on the whole time, but I saw Tracy taking notes. And that is definitely a sign of a true professional. I'm not threatened by another coach. I'm inspired by. Tracy, you're a superstar. We're happy to hear from you next.
And before we jump into Tracy, we did have a question in the chat, and I'll read it. It says, do you do coaching over Zoom or over the phone? What are the pros and cons of each?
I've done both. You know, when you're doing it virtually with image, you know, there's you can see people's faces, and you can you know, kind of assess from there. But also there is there's something missing in text messaging, and it's the human voice and the sound of the human voice. And so by phone, you can still, as far as coaching goes, you can still pick up on where your client is. You have a complete understanding. So I've done both. Both have their, you know, both have their pros and the cons. I mean, the only thing with being on the phone is that you don't get to see that person, and you don't get to see their actual facial expressions. But you can usually, you know, over time, I've learned to pick up on, you know, kind of what I said earlier about listening. When you're on the phone with someone and you're really tuned in and tapped in, you don't really need the video. You can pick up on it right away. So thanks for the question.
Yep, great question. All right, let's get Miss Tracy Thompson in here. Thank you, Kathy. You're on it. You are on it. All right, Tracy Thompson, y'all.
Hi there, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. This is my kind of jam, and these are my people. And yes, we are so alike in our practices, I'm sure. And to your comment about taking notes, I have to laugh about that, because I was once at a Brendan Burchard event. And he said, he quoted, I think it was John Maxwell who said it, but if you think you're the smartest one in the room, you are in the wrong room. You can always learn something from everyone that you surround yourself with, which is why I surround myself with upbeat, high vibrational people all of the time, as much of the time as I can. My practice for coaching is based in self-love. So I'm kind of, it's interesting. I was taking notes on your, Erin, on your presentation there, and I'm thinking it's so funny because I am I am basing all of what I do in self-love, and you are talking my language in 3 Ps, and I use 3 Rs, which is kind of funny. But I just found that kind of humorous for some reason. But I do the same things, just in a different way, exactly like you said. I pause before a session, and if you can see behind me, I have a Buddha board, and I always ask anyone before we even begin, is there something that you need to clear and just let go, and that you wish would just disappear? Because we can do that symbolically on the Buddha board, and I can put it up there and I can watch it disappear. Let's go anger. If anyone's experiencing, easy for you to say, anger, you can watch that disappear as we go through a session. And that just causes the person to just kind of become present, allow that to shift and away, because you first need to make that room before you can actually take in any kind of new thoughts, before you're open to that expansion and that growth that comes from a session. I just find it a really helpful tool, and it's so simple. So I use that, and that's my pause. And I always ground in with either a prayer or some sort of just a meeting. I use the Gandhi prayer lots of the times, so we work together. I hear you, like I feel your feelings. I find that the biggest barrier to people making a breakthrough, shall I say, a lot of the time is that they haven't become quiet and had that presence and allowed it in so long that they have completely forgotten how. We are born worthy. There's nothing that we can do or not do that takes that away from us. And I use the metaphor of it being, we are all born this winning lotto ticket. And then over the years, we have these things happen to us, and we develop these beliefs that pile on the crud in those layers, and it piles on faster than we're able to scrape it away, because we've suppressed it for so long that we've forgotten how to feel. And I have often told, because I am an optimistic, positive, extroverted person that is very animated in everything that I do, and I have actually been told that I'm too much. You're too happy. How is that even possible, that you're too happy? But I can understand that it's unhelpful positivity or happiness for someone who can't or has forgotten how. Let's not use the word can't, but has forgotten how to experience happiness or joy or fulfillment or satisfaction, contentment, any of those higher vibrational emotions that we are all capable of and worthy of experiencing. But we pile on these layers as we go through life, and as people tell us things like that, and we're trying to scrape it off with this dry cotton ball, and it's just not working because the other things are getting piled on faster than we're able to scrape it away. So in my sessions, I do like 3 Rs, and I won't go into them in depth because that's more of the sessions that I do, but it's revealing that value. And that takes some work because we've often forgotten it. So that's where I come in with dimes, and we're scraping off that. We're scraping off that crud. We're using dimes now. We're throwing away the cotton ball, and we're using EFT so that it's safe and you can move those emotions through your system in a safe environment. And I think that's probably one of the things that's been missing in most people's lives, because they've gotten so busy, they've forgotten how, and they've suppressed for so much, or they've numbed for so long, that they just don't even remember what happiness feels like. So it's so rewarding in a session to be able to have just that little spark, just that little spark. And now I'm careful to not jump on it too quickly and too much, not be too much, but just draw their attention to it gently so that they can remember what it's beginning to feel like. And then you blow on that ember of a flame. So mine is reveal your value, and that's what we do. We create that space, and then we reframe things. We reframe rejections that we've faced over the years, and then we can get into the future. I know you said to be present in the moment, However, if we've got goals, we're going ahead with those and we are looking to the future. That does take being present in the moment and doing the work, however. So I agree with you, Erin. But my third R is reverse engineering. And so you are looking to the future when your goals are fulfilled, so that you can look back at this present moment with joy when they are fulfilled. And that allows for that and that happiness, so that you can actually get out ahead of things. Yeah, I use the Buddha board, and things that I come back to are listening to my body cues when I'm able to do that. For the longest time, I wasn't able to even drop down into my body and have those sensations or those feelings. And it was so, I don't even know the word for it, when I was able to the first time, when I was able to have those goosebumps and realize like, oh, my body's been talking to me forever and I didn't even know it. So you have to create the space in order to be able to listen. And so when you're able to listen to that, then you can say, what is, like, even in those negative moments or instances or less than preferred moments of our lives, when we do become angry, as you see it disappearing, or frustrated or depressed or down or anxious, then we are able to ask ourselves the question, what is the message here for me? What is my body actually trying to tell me? What is the gift in this? As much as we have been told that there's nothing good about this situation, there is always some little nugget of a gold nugget of a gift in there that we can always draw from it. So if you ask the question, what is the gift in this? And again, it is, like you say, it's being present and it's pausing and taking the time to actually listen. And that is something that we just seem to not allow ourselves, because we have to go, 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 go. And we forget that we are human beings, not human doings. As much as we are goal-oriented and goal-seeking people, we still have to take that time in order to reach those goals by being present and taking that pause and having that moment first. So the question I always ask myself is, what is the gift in this? And then the other question that I ask when I am experiencing, I'm really struggling with that word today, aren't I? Experiencing any frustration or anger or something like that, a less than preferred emotion is this going to matter in the grand scheme of things in my life? Your example of your child in the back seat laughing was an absolute perfect one of that. Is this conversation that I'm having that's frustrating me so much right now going to matter in the grand scheme of things? And then this follow-up question would be, is it going to matter that I missed out on that, my child's laughter? That might matter a whole lot more. So that is something to really pay attention to. I don't know, that I'm rooted in self-love. That's what my practice is all about. And that came to me through raising teenage kids. And I wish that I would have had that when my kids were in that stage. So now I am all about the self-love and determining what that is for everyone and hoping to be able to speak to people in their own language of preferred love. So yeah, that's me.
All right. We had one question in the chat, which was, where can they find a Buddha board? They'd like to purchase one.
Mine was gifted to me, but I believe Chapters and Indigo both sell them.
All right. And Kathy, would you put Erin and Tracy back up? I want
In
everybody.
1 second, actually, if everybody would please, in Happy Neighborhood Project style, we are going to take a picture now, because
Oh, yeah.
this day to continue on in history. We are thrilled for the launch of our Happiness and Positivity Network. If you're available to come on camera, we would definitely love to have you. Smile.
I think it'd be a good time to have the hearts up too, Kathy.
Exactly right. Hearts are always the best reaction in the world.
Yeah.
We totally love positivity in the Happy Neighborhood. Smile pretty, my friends. Here we go. And we got lots of positivity on that one.
All right. All right. If you can put
Questions
Erin
for
and Tracy
superstars.
back up, I want everybody to unmute. We're going to go around the room. We can add one person at a time to this group here. Just want you to give feedback of what you heard, what you thought, what you felt, or a question for our panel. And just want to go around the room one at a time.
Let's
And-
start with Grace, because she
Yep.
actually knows both of these superstars.
Exactly. All right, Grace.
Well, my takeaway, of course, I've heard both of them speak, so that is an advantage I've had. Aaron, I know one of the other things that you do, and you didn't speak on it, was the me. One of my favorite things. Can you speak a little bit about your me t-shirt and your me of the heart?
Oh, the Love You Girl?
Yes,
Oh, of course.
the
I
heart
would love-
chakra. Yeah.
Oh, the heart chakra or the Love You Girl? Oh,
The
I know
heart
which one. I
chakra.
know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
the heart chakra.
Okay, so I had these t-shirts made, and it was it just says
Should've worn it.
me, my best friend. In fact, that's
Yeah.
oh
Oh, I
yeah,
like
okay.
that.
So I had these printed on t-shirts, and this is the happiness neighborhood, happy neighborhood project, right? So there are, I call them happy accidents,
Mhm.
and everything happens for a reason. So on the t-shirt, when it was printed, the yellow dot ended up in the solar plexus, which is the color yellow.
Oh,
And people ask me, of course, in printing, right? 2 colors is always going to cost more than 1 color. And it was so important to have that yellow dot because it's the solar plexus, and that's, self-empowerment and, believing in yourself. But it also reminded me of the mustard seed. And if people know that story from the Bible about, even the smallest of seeds can move mountains. It can grow to the highest of heights. So even if some of you on this call this week might be feeling as small as a mustard seed, you are still high and mighty, and you are worthy of growing and moving mountains yourself. So yes, that's the story behind the me, my best friend dot.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Grace, for sharing. All
Love
right. We've got Leah. Is it Leah or Leah?
Lee, yes.
Lee. Yep.
Oh, I'm up.
Yep,
You
you're
are
up.
Let's see.
Aloha, everybody.
Talking.
Quite honestly, when I heard about this happiness project or workshop, I was like, oh, kind of sounds a little hunky-dory. But thank you, because you have given me a lot. Too busy listening and trying to take notes at the same time. But I am trying to achieve energy balancing more in my life also. So thank you for the 3 Ps, the pause, present, and participate, and your 3 Rs. I like the Buddha board. I like the idea that the anger part is almost gone. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's kind of magical. So thank you. I look forward to next month's class.
That was beautiful, Lee. Thank you so much.
All right. Next up, we've got Emily. Go ahead and unmute. There you go.
Oh, I didn't really have a question, but
Just,
I
you
thought
can
this
just
was
tell us
also-
how you felt, or if you were moved or
um,
anything.
no, it's kind of just more relaxed, especially watching the anger go away on the Buddha board. So it's great.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, Emily. We've got Miss Pat Little up next. I can get Pat on there. All right.
Thank you to both of you. You're amazing. I love this kind of stuff. I've always been addicted to this kind of stuff. It's a good addiction to have. Yeah. And yes, living in the now. I mean, I love Eckhart Tolle too, with Power of Now. And I've done a lot of self-development, which is continuous growth. And it just, everything here, it just reinforces a lot what you're saying, both of you. I love what you both say, and different things that happen in your life. Yes, you look back, I went through some tough times in my life, but you know what? There's always a gift. There's always a gift to where you've been and how you can help other people with what you went through. And you're both sort of saying the same thing here, which is really touches my heart. Thank you very much to both of you.
All right. Thank you, Pat Little. Next up, we've got Diva. All right. And we'll get Diva back up there in a second, I promise.
We got Hollywood Squares going on.
There we go.
Hello, hello. Wow, 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 and wow. I gotta say that I am by nature a happy person, a positive person. I would say that happiness is in my DNA. But what I absolutely loved about the two of you today is that you complimented each other. You understood what each of you do. You do not see competition, which is what I love because so many of us, especially here on HMP, we do so much of the same things or sell the same services. There is no competition, right? We can always collaborate. We can always learn from each other. So I really want to thank you for being amazing and sharing the love and wisdom. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Diva. Next up, we've got Miss Lisa Kane.
Lisa, unmute please, Lisa.
And after Lisa is Debbie Miller, then Tom Bartholomew, just so you know who's up next.
What is your feedback, Lisa, for these superstar coaches?
Well, today was great. And it's been a theme for the month of July that listening has come up everywhere. And when I used to be a trainer, there's like 3 different levels of listening. 1 is half-assed, 3 is you're really paying attention. And I think that's something we all need to do more of, because if we don't, we may miss something that might be very important and beneficial to us or to those around us. So today was great.
All right,
Nice of you to say, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining us.
thank you, Lisa. Debbie Miller is up next. There you go, Debbie.
Well, thank you for coming and speaking with us. I enjoyed listening to you. I love that there's always gifts in every circumstance and that we can glean from it, pay attention, take a few minutes to evaluate it for ourselves and then look to the future and be present while we're there. So thank you. It's great.
Aaron, just so you know, Debbie's part of our Kansas City family here.
All right, thank you, Debbie. All right, Mr. Tom Bartholomew, you're up.
Well, I just want to say, first of all, say thanks. I really enjoyed both of your talks, and I'm kind of known as a kind of a positive person. I competed in Toastmasters, and that was a topic of my speech, and I'm even more positive now just because you guys were here. So thank you so much for that. And a couple of things I loved was when Aaron, when you had us just be in the present, just right now. There wasn't anything in front or behind us. It was just right now. And then something that Tracy said that I really liked was, we are human beings, not human doings. I've never heard that before. I thought that was great. So thanks a lot.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Once again, my friends, you can see our superstars. Tom is a captain in our community and he took notes.
All right, thank you, Tom. Cheryl Scott is up next.
Another superstar captain.
Thank you, ladies, for taking of your time and pouring into our neighborhood. Greatly appreciated. I especially appreciate that you started by getting us centered. That is so, so important. I know I had been multitasking all day, and it was nice to just, for the most part, stop and stay focused, take a couple of notes, but still just focus on what was being said and what was happening and where my heart was at the time. And thank you, Tracy, for the introduction to the Buddha board. That is so, so cool. I hope we will see you ladies again. Thanks.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Nice.
All right, thank you. All right, Miss.
So you know, Tracy, Cheryl is also in Canada.
Yep. Miss Deborah DeWitt is up
Deborah
next.
DeVette is in the house, all the way from Canada, Deborah DeVette.
Thank you, Kathy. I really enjoyed both of you. I love the 3 Ps and the 3 Rs. I love the Buddha board. And I love the confirmation that I got from the universe through both of you. Because I have journals that I'm creating for the teen years. And you both came up with me and the name of one of the names in the journal is This Is Me.
Oh, wow.
Getting them to find out who they are. So it was such a confirmation for me listening to both of you and knowing that that's
I love that
on the
so
right
much.
track.
I love that.
Thank you.
Can I interject one little thing here?
Of course,
Yes.
yes.
I'm actually heading to a workshop tonight for teens for how to work on giving them support in the education system that is kind of failing them in so many regards right now. So I am thrilled beyond belief to have heard that from you today. That is a confirmation for me. So thank you. There's a gift in that.
Wow, my friends, a lot of power's going on here, Mark.
Oh, yeah.
See,
All right, next up, we've got Brad Warren. Brad, if my screen stops moving, I'll be able to put you in here. All right, there you go.
So, by the way, I'm honoring Barbie today, wearing my pink sweatshirt. Haven't seen the movie yet, but definitely gonna go. So I noticed one of the comments in the chat, somebody said that you complimented one another, and I want to make sure that you both complimented with an I and complimented with an E. So you complimented by acknowledging and thanking one another, and then you complimented each other. And I was multitasking. I looked up the definition. It's a thing that completes or brings to perfection. A number or quantity of something especially required to make a group complete. So you did both. You complimented and complimented one another, which I thought was great. I love that Grace started off, and she's got on my screen here, make gratitude a habit. So I want to make sure we brought the G word in. We did the P's and the R's and the P's and Q's, but let's make sure we bring the G word in. I took a 5-day reignite your gratitude class with a guy named Kevin Monroe, who is a gratitude coach. Outstanding. One of the most exciting, wonderful 5 hours I spent the last few days. And he has his little 3 words: pause, notice, express. So Aaron said, be present. That's the pause part. Notice is to actually, like when I'm walking on walks now, I actually stop when I see a flower. I've been past that flower. I've been walking the same trail for 26 years. And I will now see things that I have never seen before because I pause, I notice, and then I actually say, you are a spectacular flower. Thank you for being there today. Or something like that. And I found that pause, notice, express has absolutely transformed my life again, because it's been transformed several times, but it's done it again to another higher level. I can't wait to see what the next higher level is going to be. It will certainly be using some of the material that I've heard today, which was definitely wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brad.
I could talk.
Thank you,
telling me
Brad.
to shut up, basically.
Thank you.
All right.
we are so glad
Have you read Jay Shetty's book, Think Like a Monk, where that was an exercise that they had them go through at the monastery? They had them go on a walk, the same route for a period, a number of days, and they had to find something new to appreciate every single day. Yeah.
Nice. That's impactful.
All right, Phyllis is up next.
I appreciate the both of you so much. Years ago, I walked away from a corporate job and very stressed when I left because it was not my choice. But I've learned over the years how to deal with that and the negativity. But what I really liked today was the 3 Ps and the closing your eyes and the breathing, because sometimes I have issues with trying to turn the brain off. They had me do an exercise one time. You stare at a candle, and how long can you stare at it? And the first time I did it, I made it like maybe 10 seconds before the candle blew out. So I work on that. And I really like the way you did it today. So that's something I'll be working on every day, to be able to at least be able to turn my brain off for a little while and just be in the present.
All right. Thank you, Phyllis. Next up, we have Don and then Carolyn. All right.
Mark, I'm so glad this is recorded and on Facebook Live. My goodness, we don't want to miss one moment of this.
Right.
Thank you both. I got something a lot of some things actually from both of you. One of the things that I'll point out is the breath and the way that it helps you center yourself. Way back when the dinosaurs roamed, I trained with both the Korean and USA Taekwondo Olympic teams, and I got matched against people that were much faster and more talented than me. And by being able to do that sort of thing, to center myself, and having studied them, I was able to make a decent representation of myself. And the other thing was being in the moment, that Tracy, that you mentioned. And so many times you hear people talk about how when they met a big celebrity, one of the things that really made them feel special was that that person made them feel like they were there in the moment with them. So I thought that was a really important point. If you've ever heard of or been familiar with the comedian Fluffy, he does a great impersonation of Arnold Schwarzenegger when he's greeting a whole long line of people. And he talks about how he's got a formula that he does. And he says, "Oh, thank you for being here. You're so strong. You look marvelous." And he goes to the next person, and he's got the same speech to everybody. But he's so focused in on them when he does it, it makes them feel like they're special when he's doing it. So that was a good point. Thank you very much.
All right.
Beautiful message. Thank you.
Thank you,
Love
Don. We've got Carolyn and then Debbie Hayes up next.
Woo!
Thanks y'all so much. It's so
HMP
good.
Partners is in the house. I love that.
This is wonderful. And yes, I'm looking forward to all of the things, but y'all, you validated so much that we know in our heads. I started the day with someone sending me this note. Until you realize prayer is the most important thing in your life, you'll never make time for prayer. And you gave us all the permission to stop and do the things that are actually really good for us. And it could take seconds. It doesn't have to be a great big thing. And you attract your tribe. And that's why I'm by nature, maybe not by nature, shy by nature, but had to work at being more outgoing, and choosing happiness is a thing. And that's what H&P is about. And then you validated all of that today. So brava, I should say. Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you.
Right, thank you, Carolyn. All right, we got Debbie Hayes up next, and then Catherine Irwin.
Thank you. Yeah, Erin, I love the breathing exercise. Especially after having a very busy morning, which is why I was eating my lunch when you were all breathing. Sorry. But I'm here to continue doing that because it's obviously something that you shouldn't be doing one time and then not again. And Tracy, I love the fact that you are taking notes, because I do think some of you mentioned this already, but I do think it's just really great that you are taking notes with someone that is your peer rather than someone that is like speaking to you. Thank you.
Beautiful message. And Erin took notes when Tracy was speaking. So you can tell we are in the presence of true professionals. Mark, who's next?
All right, we got Catherine Irwin and then Ingrid.
Awesome.
So thank you to both of you. I am so grateful that I made the time to be here. I will tell you that I almost didn't. I was looking at my schedule this afternoon. I'm like, oh, I signed up for this and I wanted to go, but I've been busy all morning and blah, blah, blah. And I thank you for validating that, listening to body cues. Tracy, I've been trying to practice that as well as listening to my intuition. So I went in quickly. I'm like, do I want to go? And my body was like, yes, it's important for you to be there. And so I got on, and I was so grateful, Erin, when you had us center and be present. And because I got on at first, I was still texting and I heard you. I'm like, no, stop. If you came, be here. So both of you were very validating to me, and I appreciate that today. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Kathy. We've got, if I can get my screen to scroll, we got Ingrid, and then Ian is up next.
Woo, Ingrid, take it away.
Thanks. Yeah, this was fabulous. And it's funny how life just kind of falls into the right patterns. This has been kind of going along, I guess, to carry on with the week that I've been having, and the messages seem to be quite similar. The love yourself and divine talents has really been a part of this week, and just pushing on that. If you put it out there, that's what you're going to get back. And especially in the teenage thing, I have a couple teenagers as well, and that's something that it can be tricky. I find more so with the girl than with the boy, but yeah, that's a great place to start. Loving yourself and remembering that gift, that child that did, we had it all, and to scratch that off, I love that, and bring that back. There are gifts everywhere, and you guys are a gift to all of us, especially this day. This was great. Thank you.
All right. Ian Kingwell, and then Elizabeth is up next.
I guess start out by saying that, first of all, I'm coming from the future, so I'm not in the present, but I am in the present, but I'm also in the past. So wherever you are in the world, I'm coming from Australia for you guys because I've got an accent. And first of all, I'd just like to say that wherever you are, you've just got to be in that moment. And it's a great reminder for everybody that we've got to be in that moment wherever we are. And it's really early in the morning here where I am. So it was a great start to the day. So that was important. And I think that, thank you to Mark, who came up with the concept of this. And I think it's a great reminder for everybody to pause, take the time to breathe, be in that moment and be present. And it doesn't matter where we are, what time of day we are, what we're doing, be in that moment with the people you're around, and be in the moment with yourself, because that's where we are, and be listening and all those sort of things. And unfortunately, too many people in the world and in HNP and whatever, we don't listen what's going on, and we don't listen to ourselves, and we don't listen to everybody else. And if we started doing that, we'd all be so much better. So thanks to both of you.
All right. All right.
Love the background.
Absolutely.
Elizabeth,
thank you.
And then Carol is up next. And for some reason, I cannot add spotlight. Oh, because she's not on video. Elizabeth, can you come back on video?
We also have Nancy Boyd, Mark.
Yep. I'll move on and come back to Elizabeth. Carol, you're up next.
Aaron and Tracy, great job. I also took notes. Some of the things I wrote down, being heart-centered, I think we need to do that more. Living in the present is so key. And I think if I've learned one thing in life is, as I've gotten older, I've learned that I live more in the present. And I do a special thing called Gifts from God. And inside the envelope, I do these at Christmas time, there's a word in here. And I never know what the word is that people are taking, but I liked, I think you said it, Aaron, I am worthy of the gifts that God has given me. And I think sometimes in life, we're all given these gifts, but sometimes when we need that compassion, we don't pull it off the shelf and use it. So living in the present, using the gifts that God has given us, I think are key. So thank you guys very much. Very positive and energetic, and I loved it.
All right, thank you, Carol. We've got Tony Hunt, Ralph Dana, and then we have Nancy Boyd. Tony, you are up next.
Another partner in the Happy Neighborhood. How are you?
I'm so excited to thank you. Every day, I make sure my soul is anchored in the Lord. And this was just a blessing I didn't even see coming. And that said, we all had to be here because we focused. We could have been anywhere in the world. You could have been anywhere doing anything. And from someone who networks for a living, this was so refreshing. That said, just to echo what you're saying and everyone else, using that word ad nauseum, validation. It's not about me over here or you over there. It's about the power of us. And I just want to say I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, next up is Ralph Dana, and then we have Nancy Boyd.
Thank you. To piggyback on what Tony was saying, I was having some technical issues with something else, and that's why I was late. When I got it worked out, I came across the thing that this meeting was going on, and that's why I jumped in, and I'm so glad I did. What you were talking about brought up different pictures of my mind of different issues that I went through in my life And I found out at an early age, I never had more adrenaline going through me than when I actually help somebody else, no matter how small it is.
Mm.
When you can bring joy to somebody. So thank you.
All
You're
right.
great at that, Ralph. Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. Next up is Nancy Boyd. All right, Nancy Boyd, you are up.
Awesome. Thank you so much. First of all, foremost, thank you so much, both of you, for being here today and being a part of the HMP family. At least you guys are, for me. But I love the positivity. I love everything, the synergy that you guys bring together, being that you guys are not seeing yourself as competitors, but as, collaborators at one point. And I love that about you guys. And the fact that, yes, sometimes I do need to stop and smell the roses. And I have to say, okay, hold on. I got to breathe, relax, and do what I have to do. And the self-care and love yourself, that should be one of your top priorities as a person, because it does work in both business and in personal life. You do what you got to do to make things happen. Thank you so much for being here today. I definitely appreciate everything that you guys had to share with us. And I hope to see you around the neighborhood.
All right. All right. And ladies, before we wrap up, I want you.
Elizabeth is on camera now, Mark.
Okay, thank you for catching that. Elizabeth, as soon as I scroll to you, I'm gonna put you in here. There you go. Thank you.
Hey, sorry about that. I had a phone call come in.
Okay.
But I wanted to especially say thank you to the intro to the Buddha board. I had never seen that before, and that is amazing. I also have a teenager, and so I think between the two of us, she and I, will be able to utilize one of those quite well for letting go of things. So I love that concept. And Aaron, to your lead of being in the moment, I have gotten really bad about not being in the moment lately. So that's a good reminder. So I thank you both for those two enlightenments today.
All right.
Beautiful. Thank you, EJ.
Thank you, Elizabeth. All right. As I was saying, before we wrap up, ladies, Aaron and Tracy, would you please put your information in the chat so our live studio audience can reach out to you, as well as we will put it on Facebook so anyone watching this can also reach out to you. Kathy, you go ahead and go first and give your rendition of today, and I'll go last.
Thank you so much. And I'm thrilled not only to have you ladies here today, but also for all of our friends watching live or certainly on the replay. Please connect your coaches in your network, your happiness and positivity coaches, not necessarily related to the Happy Neighborhood Project family yet, so that Mark and I can actually add them to our dynamic panel discussion. Tracy, Aaron, we are thrilled that you were with us today, and the impact that you've made on the lives of our superstars who attended now it's just incredible. The impact will continue to permeate our Happy Neighborhood Project. So thank you both for being here, for saying yes right off the bat. You didn't hesitate. What can I do? What do you need? Boom. And you were right here for us. So we thank you from the very bottom of our hearts. Mark?
And ladies, just wanted to thank each of you. You did a phenomenal job. So many things ran through my mind as you were both speaking and illustrating your talents and your gifts. And it took me back to several incidents throughout my life, sometimes where I was going through some negativity and I needed to get past it, and I was given a second chance. I won't go into the example, but you took me through a journey, both of you, and to look at it now and be on the positive side, I'm so thankful. And thank you for reminding us to just stop sometimes. Stop, get your head in the right space. I don't remember which one of you said it, or both of you may have said it. It doesn't matter what happened getting onto Zoom or clicking the button or logging on. It just doesn't matter. Be in the now, be in the present, be focused. And you hear that, but a lot of people don't understand what that actually means. You have to be able to just let go and be here to be fully engaged. And I sometimes remind myself of that because I'm a great multitasker. And so if I'm not doing 10 things at one time, I feel like I'm not doing anything. But sometimes you need to just do one. and be in the present. And so thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Aaron. You guys were phenomenal. Well, y'all, Facebook, that is our time. We've got to get up out of here. This was a great first rendition of Happiness and Positivity Workshop. There will be more to come. We're doing them once a month. So stay tuned, and we're going to drop the ladies' information, Aaron and Tracy, on Facebook. So if you want to reach out to them, feel free. And everybody unmute and give them a great HMP thank you and family hug. Come on, y'all. Give it to them, y'all.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank
Awesome,
you so,
awesome.
so much.
High five. Fist bump.
I know.
All right,
Bye,
everybody be
everybody.
good. Stay safe and stay
Bye.
happy.
Bye,
You betcha.
everyone.
Bye.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you for coming,
Ciao.
everybody.
See you around the neighborhood.
Yep.
Hit the